This is Final Project Lesson 1. For your assignment, please read the directions before you start and also before you submit your final website project. You will need to replace the template images and the links related to them. You will devise your own color palette, choose your own background textures, and your own typography. You will also need to include one small contribution of code that you find on the web and customize. It can be HTML, JavaScript, or CSS. You can look on the Bootstrap site, look in Stack Overflow on the web, GitHub, or anywhere on the internet. Past student examples include rollover effects on buttons, animated GIFs, even slideshows of their own photos. To start your assignment, please sketch your own website pages to include the buttons you are going to include and the icon name of each item you're going to create. That sketch is going to guide you throughout the entire website assignment. The first thing we're going to start talking about is an overview of Bootstrap. Bootstrap is a collection of CSS, JavaScript, and HTML, but mainly CSS. And it includes a 12-column Bootstrap grid system and media queries. You can look up Bootstrap just by Googling Bootstrap. That will take you to this website. Bootstrap bills itself as a mobile-first responsive website framework, and it is very, very popular. It is an open source setup, so that means that other people have contributed different kinds of code toward Bootstrap. The key is, it's important to understand that by using Bootstrap's code, you're going to make a website that contains more code than is necessary. That's the caveat of it. It's called code bloat because your site is going to be fairly simple. Still, it's very beneficial to learn how to use Bootstrap. There are different ways to load Bootstrap. You can actually download all of the Bootstrap code and make your website completely independent. The way we're going to do it, we're going to link to the Bootstrap code that we need, and that includes JavaScript and CSS. All right, let's go to the main sections of the website. So this is what the website looks like on the surface. Okay. There is some information about yourself that you'll have at the top of each page. We'll get more into the design of it in a second. I just want you to see this. Now here's the underlying code. It looks pretty intimidating, but I'm going to help you go through it so you will be clear on how it's broken up. First of all, you have at the top the head section. The head section, as I've indicated, has to have important links. For example, this is the Google Fonts links. We're going to learn how to connect to Google Fonts. This has the core CSS for Bootstrap. I copied this straight from the Bootstrap site. This is Font Awesome code so that you can link to Font Awesome, which allows you to make customized icons on your site, like Twitter or YouTube icons. And then you have your own CSS style sheet. So this is the head section. Now we begin the body section. And I've commented these sections individually so you can follow along. The body starts with the bio and contact section at the top. That is, again, this part right here. So here are your Font Awesome icons. Here's an image that you will replace and the information about your own biography. Then we're going to start how Bootstrap's grid system works. And I've explained what all these divs close to help so you don't get as confused as you could. At the very end, we have the scripts necessary for Bootstrap. And again, this is code that I copied off of the Bootstrap website. All the HTML pages will have the same contact information at the top. So we just get that right the first time, and then we can paste it into the other pages. Each page must have the same style sheet. So we will make sure that on every one of these pages at the top, we link to the styles.css. Also, you need to have the same Bootstrap CSS file and the same Google Fonts link at the top. So that has to go atop every one of the pages. As part of the assignment, you're going to have to determine what your fourth category is if you do not want it to be campaigns. In this particular tutorial, we're going to pretend like we're Joe Wren, who's the WTIU News Desk anchor, and we're going to want to show our broadcast reporting experience. So the first thing we want to do is rename the campaigns icon type to WTIU reporting. So we'll go into our index.html and we'll find campaigns. So this is the first mention of campaigns, which is at the top. And then we'll go to the next one, which is the campaigns.html page. And we also have our card text saying campaigns. So we're going to rename that. We're going to call this WTIU reporting. Okay, so save that. And you're also going to have to rename the actual campaigns.html file. So we will go on and do that. Let's close everything out if we're going to do this, because we do not want to be changing file names or moving files around when we have it open in Atom. Okay, here's campaigns. I'm going to call this reporting. All right. You will see the WTIU reporting. When I click on it, I have an error because it's still looking for campaigns.html. I have to change my link, not just change the name of my file. So let's go back and go into our Atom and find that campaigns. And you can see here it says campaigns.html. We're now going to link it to reporting.html. Save that. When we click on it, it will find our campaigns page. Now we have to start obviously calling this reporting and working on customizing it, but at least we have the link right. Now we can go into reporting and we can first of all find where it says campaigns and change that heading to reporting. Save that. We'll do more on that in a minute. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to get a YouTube video that shows Joe Wren. We're going to also have to make a quote-unquote button that shows an image of Joe Wren hosting the WTIU Indiana News Desk show.
As heard of, which is pretty remarkable considering many locations have no advertising budget.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do a screen grab of him. And don't worry so much about cropping it. We can fix that. So we're going to go ahead and crop this so that we have the right size icon that will match the other icons on here. So we're going to have to size our icons so that they fit this size. As I've mentioned before, that size that I'm having you crop them at is 600 by 398. That's actually larger than it needs to be, but you have to keep in mind some people might have really large screens, bigger than even your typical laptop screens. So we'll go and we'll open up our screenshot, which we'll go ahead and call reporting. And we're going to click on our crop tool and set our width to 600px by 398px. And then you can move the crop around, resize it slightly. I might just crop up a little bit here. Truthfully, if this were for your actual assignment, if were your own portfolio, you might not want to have the word pizza in it, but we're going to go with it. So now that we size that down, we can save that, and let's go ahead and save it as a JPEG. Pings are okay, but let's be consistent, and we've got most of them set for JPEG, so we'll go ahead with that. And you have to, most importantly, make sure that you are saving it in your images folder. Now that we've made the icon, we can go back to Atom, and we can make sure that we have called it reporting.jpg so that it actually shows up. And we'll name our alt text reporting as well. Save. So now let's refresh, and you'll see now it is a picture of Joe. It is too dark, so I would go back in and hit Command L and work on lightening and save that as a JPEG 2. So now when we go to refresh, it's a little bit better toned. Now we have changed the name of the HTML page, we have updated the icon, we have it linking properly to that reporting page. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put a YouTube share link on that page to go to one of Joe's examples. So let's go back and we'll open up one and we'll click on the share icon. That will copy the share embed code. That's the URL. And we're not going to just take that directly and use it. We're going to actually convert it into a more mobile-friendly version of it. So what we will do is we're going to search for embed responsively. And what that does is if you paste in a traditional generic iframe or a YouTube video or a Vimeo video, it will actually add code to make it more responsive to different web sizes. When I hit embed, you'll see that it puts out more code. And for now, we'll just copy that. Now we're going to go to the first division, the first grid item right here, and we're going to replace that presentation.pdf with the actual embed responsively code. And we're going to go from all the way from the beginning href underneath the shadow small division, and we're going to paste all the way over opening anchor tag to closing anchor tag. Paste that in. And that is all the embed responsively text. And then we're going to type in here Indiana News Desk and save that. Now when we refresh, we'll see we actually have the icon and it's embedded. One of the nice things about, as I said, using the embed responsively code is that when you size it, it will respond better to the size of the screen. Now, one of the things that you'll notice in here, if you look carefully, is that you have a style tag that is embedded into your HTML. We're in reporting.html. And as we've mentioned, you should have your styles all in your CSS styles file. So what I went ahead and did is I made a video style. If you go to CSS styles and search for video, you will see that I have an embed container that says it's for embed responsibly code for YouTube videos. So I've already taken that style out and put it in the style sheet. So the good news is all you have to do is make sure that you have these classes in your HTML code and it will work responsively. So let's look and make sure. So if you look at this code, you'll see it has a class of embed container. Unfortunately, it makes them single quotes, so we'll go ahead and make them double quotes. So I can go ahead and I can get rid of all of this style at the beginning and save that. Now when I refresh, you'll see it still works. Okay, I've showed you how to embed a video and to separate its style so that we can put that style declaration in the CSS. Now that you've had the experience of actually updating icons, updating links, we want you to try this out now on your own website. So go back to your original homepage. You are going to find the best piece of vector art you have drawn, and you can use that on your opening index.html. And then obviously either go with the campaigns page or make your own. In this case, we pretended like we were Joe Wren. We found a video of him in front of the camera, but we could also have videos that he shot. And then you have your graphic design page, which you are going to want to put in a magazine project, a magazine exercise, and your poster project. And I would encourage you on all of these to think carefully about what your icons look like. This is not my entire poster. I kind of zoomed in on the cup. You should, number one, make sure that your icons are clear looking and you crop in tight enough. For example, on the graphic design, we went ahead and cropped in on a horizontal image of the poster project. When you open it up, it is actually vertical. For the vector art, we cropped in tight on the guitar. When you click on it, then you can see how the entire guitar looks. You should also, along with cropping tight enough, name all of the icon files lowercase with no spaces or odd characters so you don't have broken links. Obviously, make sure you optimize them at 600 pixels by 398 and place them as JPEGs in your images folder. You're going to want to do this for all 5 of your pages. Obviously, in your video pages, you're going to be doing video embeds, and you may only have one from C226. If your existing template grid does not match the number of items that you plan to use, don't worry about it. Get as far as you can, because in the next tutorial, you're going to learn about how to change the number of items in your grid. When you are done doing this, we want you to validate your CSS and your HTML and submit your website to Final Project Lesson 1 on Canvas. Let's go ahead and validate right now. We'll go ahead and first validate the HTML homepage, which is index.html. So we'll select everything in our HTML doc, Command C. Then we'll go to our actual website called HTML Validator. Click on this direct input tab, paste it in, and check it. Okay, again, if the code is being generated by something else and you've copied it in, like Google Fonts or your Bootstrap link, you're okay. We don't need to change that. You're going to see this a lot, this kind of error message a lot on Bootstrap, but don't worry about it. What it is that the HTML validator doesn't like it when you use percentages, which are more responsive friendly. So that's okay to ignore as well. And since all of those errors are relating to those percentages, we're good. So do that for each one of your HTML pages, and then you need to do your CSS as well. So select all, Command C, Google CSS validator, go to direct input, paste it in, and check it. Congratulations, no errors found. So you can go ahead and compress your folder and upload it.